the standing block of instruction is in Project Appleseed, we teach field shooting, and as such, all of our positions are unsupported. We teach you from the most stable to the least stable position we teach. We're up now to the standing position. There are two types of slings that you may use in standing. We show you both of them. We recommend one. The first is what we call a hasty sling. To get into the hasty sling, you judge your sling length by using the hand width that we showed you earlier. This will take a little bit more length because it's going to require a little bit more slack to get into it. He's going to lengthen his sling, and holding the rifle, the hasty sling simply will allow him to hold the forestock of the rifle and flip it up onto his elbow and bring it quickly to his shoulder. Hence the term hasty sling. Okay? This doesn't provide you nearly the type of support that we need for shooting a standing position, but we need to show it to you anyway in case you need to use it someday when you're walking through the woods and a deer pops up. The other sling, the hasty sling, is what we recommend for a standing position. To get into it, he'll have to readjust his sling a little bit probably. To get into the hasty sling, he's going to look through the trigger guard of the trigger, run his arm through all the way up to his armpit, bring his hand over and around, grasping the forestock of the rifle, and he's going to raise the butt of the rifle up, placing it on his shoulder. And this is the hasty sling. This is the hasty sling. This is what we're going to use today in the standing position. Okay, if we're indexing to the target, if the target line is off to the left over here, he's going to start out facing bring it down your waist. There you go. He's going to start out facing the target line. He's going to index 90 degrees to the target. So he's going to turn to his trigger side 90 degrees, so the target's going to be directly off his support side. He's going to bring the rifle up to his shoulder. And you'll notice as he brought the rifle up to his shoulder, he brought the rifle up to his eye. He's not taking his eye down to the rifle. Let's look at the steady hold factors for the standing position. Most of them are exactly as we've taught them to you already. What do you think he's doing with his front hand, his support hand? What is it doing?
Openly cradling it.
Loosely cradling the rifle. What about the sling?
Smooth across the back of the hand.
It's snug but not tight, snug across the back of the hand. It comes across under his arm. It's flat across his chest here, holding the rifle up. You'll notice he's not supporting the rifle. It takes very little effort to support the rifle. Moving on around, his feet are shoulder width apart. Coming on around to this side over here, he has something that we introduced in a kneeling position, which is what? What is this?
Chicken wing.
Chicken wing. What do you think his trigger hand is doing? What does he have there?
Firm handshake.
Firm handshake grip doing what?
Pulling the rifle in the shoulder.
Pull the rifle back into the shoulder pocket. What is he doing with his trigger finger?
Exaggerated C.
Doing what? Not dragging wood and touching it with what? Touching the trigger with what? Pad of his finger out here, exactly. How is he attaining his sight picture? Doing what?
He's doing a turkey neck.
And what?
And firm cheek weld.
Good enough. All right, from the standing position, how do you think he finds his natural point of aim?
He closes his eyes and breathes.
Closes his eyes and breathes just like we've done every time before. What happens when he opens his eyes and he's not on the target?
He needs to adjust.
Needs to adjust in the standing position. All the adjustment's done with the back foot. If he looks down range and his sights are not on the target, and he wants to raise the point of impact, he's going to move his back foot away, move his trigger foot away from the target. If he's too high, he's going to bring his foot back toward the target. If he needs to move to the left, he's going to bring his trigger foot back behind him, in front of him, or if he needs to move to the right, he's going to bring it back behind him, this way. Okay, that's the natural point of aim and adjusting. Now, talking about natural point of aim for a moment, in standing position, when you're going to close your eyes and you're going to wobble a little bit. Wherever you come back to a natural stop, that's your natural point of aim. He's going to open his eyes and make his adjustments accordingly. All right. In prone position and in seated, when you were breathing, what were your sights doing? Which way did they move?
Whenever you inhale, they go down.
When you inhale, they go down. Exhale, they come up. In standing position, it's just the opposite. As he inhales standing, His sights will come above the point of impact, his aim point, and as he exhales, they'll come back down to the aim point. Okay? As you come to the firing line, when we shoot standing position, you will have your trigger, you'll have your magazine in your trigger side pocket. While we're shooting standing, you will have 2 minutes to fire the standing position when we get around to the AQT. And this rifle is going to get really, really heavy while you're standing there. So every now and then, while maintaining your cheek weld, you can rest by leaning forward a little bit, taking your finger off the trigger and lean forward. Rest for a moment or two, take a breath, come back up, and resume your course of firing. What are my questions about standing position? Yes, sir.
How do you, I'm standing, I wobble a little bit, it really bothers me. How do I handle that?
Don't wobble. No, I'm just kidding.
That's darn good advice. I wish I'd thought of that myself.
You will notice that if you try to stand there too long, if you try to hold position too long, you'll develop a natural wobble. It'll be into a pattern. Usually, it'll be like an infinity symbol or an inverted figure 8 on its side. And as you time, you can time your squeeze so that as your sights intercept the target, you can take out the slack, and as soon as the sights come on the target, you can fire as your sights intercept the point of impact. And this is just embrace the wobble. Thank you for pointing that out, sir.